sentence, so I can usually describe it in like one word.
Making a full sentence, okay, go on.
You gotta use your own words. You can't just fill in a bubble.
Very true, very true. Alrighty, Travis.
Diagrams. They're hard.
Well, yeah, they are hard. But what
Yes.
about like constructor response? I mean, you remember you have like, what is the mood of this and why? What do you think is hard about that? And those kind of questions.
I have no clue.
If you don't, you understand something about it?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Diagram.
Yeah, they are.
Okay,
Alright, skip me.
that's fine. Right.
Trying to word it.
Trying to word it correctly, that's very true. Colin?
Well, it's nonetheless trying to put it like in understandable form, like trying to understand for the reader to understand how to, or the reader to understand what you're talking about.
So basically you're saying first you have to understand what the prompt is saying.
Yes.
And then you have to figure out how to put it in your own words so that somebody else can understand you. That, well, Travis, I didn't mean to skip you. What was your response? What's difficult about constructed responses for you?
I forgot what the meaning was, the construction response.
The difference between a constructed response and a short answer is that in a short answer, you've got like a very specific question and you don't really need to write that much. A constructed response is more like a mini essay because you need like a thesis and you need some evidence to back up your claim. So what is particularly difficult for you about constructed responses?
Well, it's hard for me to find mistakes that I've made.
Oh, the editing process. Very good. Nobody's brought that up at all today. The editing process. Going back and correcting yourself. That's true. Colin?
I do agree with Travis on the editing process because I have an idea of what I'm doing. It's just like it's stuck in the back of my head and I'm having like, and the other part is because I'm kind of lazy, but that's a whole different story. So.
When I was in school, I always had trouble understanding the actual questions sometimes. Like, 'cause they word it really weird. And so sometimes actually understanding what in the world they're asking me to do was really hard for me. And so sometimes I'd miss it because I wrote an okay little paragraph, but I mean, I didn't understand the question, so I didn't even answer the question. So I'd miss it.
That's how I felt when I took the Praxis core, which is, it tests like math and English, and it's for teachers only. And when I got to the writing portion, I thought, what on earth are these questions even, what do they want from me? So I tried, and I hope I passed, I don't know. But we want to give you the tools today to conquer constructed responses. And we're going to, as soon as we break out from the circle, get our ISNs out, as well as a clean sheet of notebook paper. And then we're going to watch a little video. So, I timed the breakout from this too, right?
Yes.
Okay. I knew I forgot something over here, so.
We're at a minute and 11 seconds. That was pretty good last time, but we did better.
Very good. Were there any questions before we break out of the circle? Alrighty. Yes?
One thing that I learned is how much you edit it. Like sometimes you can write too much or too little.
Very true. Figuring out what the correct length is also very difficult. Alright guys, go to a clean sheet. Okay. Because we are about to look at. Dear, where did the video go? Oh, there it is.
Stop, this is hopeful.
Races. The concept races for writing constructed. Well, it's a, you've got R stands for something, A stands for something, such and such and so forth.
It says it's an infinite.
Well, that's part of the activity that we're going to do. That's me assigning, different stuff. So that's different. I'm talking about just the concept itself. Do y'all remember it? Vernon, if you taught it before, does it sound familiar at all?
Yeah.
What do you know, JT?
I know that I think the R stands for like read.
Reread.
Reread, something like that.
You're kind of close. What would you think the E would be?
Restate.
Well, I mean the A. restate. That's better. What'd you say?
Answer the
Nina?
question.
Answer the question. I thought it was on the board there for a second. You were right. How about C?
Conclusion? Like what you think of it, or something?
Conclusion would be at the bottom. So S. So what would we do in the middle? Anybody?
Sight.
Stop. You got it. Well, down in your ISN, I'd like you to tell me, what does R stand for?
Reading.
Restate the question. A.
Art.
Answer the question. C.
Science.
Evidence.
E.
Explain.
Explain your evidence. And S.
Sight.
Summarize.
Summarize. Alrighty. Good job, Miss Smarty Pants. This is what I'd like you to write in your ISNs. Just write down races. Because we will be working with that all the way up until milestones. And today, since we've been doing so much work with stations, I thought we should continue that happy little trend and break down, I mean, since races is already conveniently broken down into 5 different parts, we'll have 5 different stations. And I will go over that in more depth as soon as I see that y'all are almost done. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay, since it looks like everybody's almost done, I'm gonna go on and go over. I mean, if you still need to write, you can write, but I'm going to go over what we're going to be doing for the rest of the class period. We're going to be doing, as I said before, stations, and each station is based off one of the letters in races. So, in that corner where John and Travis are, you are going to be doing, I know it says art, but we are focusing on restating the question. Now, the website that I am directing your attention to is going to give you sentence stems. What are sentence stems? Anybody know what sentence stems are? If I were to say sentence starters, what does that sound like?
Like start a sentence, like.
Things that, and what kind of sentences would we be needing to start for a constructed response? Sentences that talk about our topic, so sentences that give information, evidence, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to start a sentence well. So that's why we're going to be giving you some good sentence starters. Now, your question will be different for every single prompt, and these are a little bit different, but we still want you to have them in your notebooks. So you're going to, in your ISNs, write down 6 at least sentence starters. You'll have to scroll down on the web page, it's weird for some reason, but at least 6, and then decorate the page, make it pretty. So that way your mind will associate those sentence starters with all the artwork on your page. So that's what we are doing for station R. For station A, you're going to be the lovely Miss Ernest in the back, and you're going to be answering the question. You're going to be working with a prompt and a story, and she's going to help you develop when we're answering the question, it's a mini version of a what? What do we have that is the highlight, the very essence of an essay? What do you need for an essay?
A thesis.
There you go. Awesome job, Colin. So she's going to teach you how to write a thesis for a constructive response. And then, group C, citing evidence. I have here 3 different articles. 3 different articles. And I'd like you to pick all the way through. And then, as soon as you're done that, you're going to take a clean sheet of notebook paper and find the questions in this little packet that correspond with the article and answer them on your sheet of paper. If you are finished before we call time for the session, then grab another article, do some more questions. These are all linked to citing evidence from the articles. Now, Group E, you're going to be with me, and we're going to be working with the same story that Miss Ernest is working with, but talking more about explaining the concrete evidence in the story. Because like y'all said, it's hard to put stuff in your own words. You kind of know what's in the story, but you're not quite sure what to say. So we're going to be working on that. And then S, summarizing. I found this game that's about summarizing. And I would like you to focus on just the first part of the game. I mean, if you want to keep planning after you're done with part 1, that's fine. It's just in part 1, it gives you concrete yes or no, you got this right answers. And that's going to help you summarize or get more review on summarizing. Alrighty, so, like I said before, you need your ISN and a clean sheet of notebook paper. And do you remember where you were in your group C yesterday? Where you stopped yesterday? Anybody, throw me a bone here. Yes, no, maybe so? Okay, Mr. Ernest, may I see your notebook?
Okay, so do you want to take a lap first, then go to the bathroom?
Yes, let's do a lap first, and then Mr. Ernest is assigning groups.
We're making new groups.
No, that's it.
Okay.
I'm joking.
Travis. Weren't me,
We're
you
gonna
and
switch
Don
all
like
around occasionally.
Yeah,
Everybody, grab your stuff and go to your assigned table. If you're not sure where to go, I have a map of the room up there on the board as I showed you. Very true. You're right. He had no
He
equipment
was
whatsoever.
working, and then he decided to climb the mountain.
it was a hard challenge.
Very hard challenge. And then what happens at the end?
He was stuck dangling off the side of the cliff.
So it was a literal cliffhanger.
That was a
Okay, yeah. Yeah, sorry. Bad pun, bad pun. Okay. So, since we are looking at explaining our evidence, we're going to find some evidence real fast and see if we can explain that evidence in our own words. Now, here is your prompt. Describe the relationship between the man and the cliff. It's a weird thing to say, isn't it? I mean, how do you have a relationship with an inanimate object? What do you normally have relationships with?
My dog.
Animals? Yeah. What else? What?
I enjoy staying in my room.
Well, but that's also an inanimate object. An inanimate object, okay. But you're also making a point. Most relationships would be with people, right? Or animals, because they're alive. But you sometimes have relationships with things that are inanimate, like you said, your room, or food. Why do you have relationships with inanimate objects?
Because it makes life
Because
interesting.
Okay. What else?
sometimes it just makes more sense talking to that or doing being with that than it does with the living person.
True.
Because
They
you can't
because
eat
they
a
can't
living
talk back,
human.
you can just express yourself to them.
Oh, you've hit the meat of the matter. So if you're able to express yourself with something, that means that you, it's just a figure of speech. It means that you what the object. If you open your heart to that object, not just love.
Open up.
If you open your heart, well, it's a matter of
Being a friend.
being a friend. And what do friends do? Friends what?
Be there for
Each
each
other.
other. Help.
They're there for each other. They help. What else? I'm looking for a word that starts with a T.
Trust each
They
other.
trust each other, exactly. So you trust that thing. And sometimes people put their trust in inanimate objects
Yeah, I
because they just need that at that moment. So that's what we're going to be looking at.
Keep me out of the rain.
There you go. That's something you trust your room for. So does the man trust the cliff? I want you to look in your story. Find at least one sentence that shows the man trusting the cliff.
Done.
Okay, what'd you find, John?
I found
Keep looking. I want to see what John's finding.
the mood
Read it to me real fast.
something I have come to rely on has been taken away.
Ooh, good. Yes, that shows that the man had been trusting the cliff. What was he trusting the cliff for? What was that something?
up.
Holding him up.
And it, I was hanging, but just barely.
There you go. Travis, did you find something?
Yes, exactly.
What did you find?
Okay, I have possession of the wall at 4.
Ooh. No, well, that's good though. Those you guys are hitting on the key sentences to this passage. Have possession of the wall. What do you think he's talking about when he says that he has possession of the wall?
Like he said,
He owns
he's teaming with the wall. Like exhibiting.
I like that. Team.
The wall is working with him.
He became the wall.
Something like that. And so if he teams up with the wall, and we were already talking about trust, those are clues, right? Yes. But then what happens as the story goes on? How does that relationship change?
He becomes none with the wall.
The
Becomes
bond,
none with the wall?
the bond between the cliff, like, go away.
Give me a piece of evidence that
I
shows
was
that
going
that
with the
happened.
reverse of the force. Now he gives
But you can see the words.
Well, you're thinking along those lines. Find me another piece of evidence that talks about how the man's relationship changes.
I got the ball and went up over it. I planted my left foot solidly.
Remember, if the relationship is changing, that means it was strong up here, and it's getting weaker down here, right? So look down here for a piece of evidence that shows how the man's relationship changes. There's one sentence
I was
over
hanging,
two.
but just barely.
Yeah, I said that.
There's one right before it. Look in the seventh paragraph. Seventh paragraph, there's one particular sentence. I'm hoping y'all will
I
find
caught something part of the rock with
It's
my
about
left
what the wall
hand and
does to the
started
man.
to pull.
It's
You
the
no
wall.
longer sent back any pressure.
Very close. Here, let me show you what I'm looking for.
The wall was giving me nothing.
Oh, that was it.
It was?
That was it.
No, 11 more minutes.
I wanted to be short and concise about that.
What is it called? Because what I was talking about before, when people don't typically have relationships with inanimate objects, when they do it's for just, right? It's for trust. That's what I'm trying to say. So, what is it called when an author gives something that's not alive the abilities or the personality of a human?
Ooh, it's called personify. I mean,
Like Wilson?
identification. I know.
Personification. You got it. You got it. So the author is personifying the wall in that case. So what does he mean? This is where I really want you to explain the evidence for me. What does he mean, given everything we've already talked about? That the wall is giving me nothing. What is he? What's he talking about?
The wall.
The wall was not
That
helping
he
me at
was
Right.
getting something from.
So the wall wasn't helping him. Why is he saying that the wall was not giving me anything? Why isn't he saying
You might think it's a living being.
right?
Because
saying
he
he had like a
trusted
friend.
He trusts it.
It is his
Exactly.
friend.
He's come to see the wall
That's human.
kind of as a friend, yes, because the wall is his only way up. We don't know why he's going up, but he's going up for some reason. And I mean, if he's willing to risk almost dying, it's got to be for something serious, right? So that's exactly what we're looking at right now. That's exactly what we're looking at here. So I'd like you to, in your own words, we've already got a few pieces of evidence for his relationship as a whole with the wall. Think each to yourself. Just take a few
Exercise.
exercise. Yeah, we really do need to switch though.